EA wake. In capital news tonight, President Samia Suluhu Hassan directs Ministry of Information to lift ban on social media media outlets which had been closed. President Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi assures public of recovering millions of shillings lost through Master Life. And in sports, Mbwana Samata helps Fenerbahce defeat Denizspor 1-0 in a Super League encounter. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has directed authorities at the Ministry of Information to lift the ban on media outlets which had been closed and to allow them to do their work by following laws and regulations. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has said this when swearing into office permanent secretaries and heads of various institutions at a state house in Dar es Salaam.
Lakini ni kusimamia vyombo vyetu vya habari ndani. Nasikia kuna vyombo vya habari huko mlivifungia, sijui vijitv vya mikononi vile, vifungulieni lakini wafuate sheria na miongozo ya serikali.
We are required to manage our internal media. I heard there are a number of online TVs that you have closed. I ask you to open them, but must follow the government laws and guidelines. Open them so that they don't say we are suppressing the freedom of the media. But make sure whoever you gave permission to do so follows the laws and the rules should be clearly saying for this offense, then this is the punishment. Release them, but make sure they follow the rules laid by the government.
Tuhakikishe wanafuata kanuni na miongozo ya serikali.
President Hassan also said that he will form a special committee to deal with coronavirus situation and also address the problem of theft of minerals at Mererani mines.
Kamati ya wataalamu waliangalie swala la COVID kwa upana wake. Waangalie remedies tunazoambiwa tusaidia kwa upana wake kitaalamu kabisa.
We will establish a committee of experts to look at the issue of COVID in its wide. They will look on all these remedies that they say will help us, and then they will advise the government. It should not be silenced either by our acceptance or our rejection without doing a proper investigation. We will ask experts to tell us about this tragedy, but also by letting us know what we are being told by the world out there, using our experts in this COVID situation. We cannot isolate ourselves as if it's a desert, but we cannot accept everything we are told.
Kama kisiwa na hatuwezi tukupokea yanayoletwa bila kuweka cha kwetu, bila kufanya utafiti wa kwetu.
Meanwhile, speaking at swearing-in ceremony, Vice President Dr. Philip Mpango directed executives to manage public funds, with some leaders who are sworn in stating that they are prepared to implement their responsibilities.
Kwenye wizara, kwenye taasisi mlizopewa, mlizodhaminiwa kuzisimamia.
We will establish a committee of experts to look at the issue of COVID in its wide. They will look on all these remedies that they say will help us, and then they will advise the government. It should not be silenced either by our acceptance or our rejection without doing a proper investigation. We will ask experts to tell us about this tragedy, but also by letting us know what we are being told by the world out there, using our experts in this COVID situation. We cannot isolate ourselves as if it's a desert, but we cannot accept everything we are told. Mpango, with your unity in the ministries and the institutions you have been assigned to, kindly oversee the proper use of public resources, starting with the staffs, as they should produce exactly what Tanzanians expect. But also financial resources, adhere to rules and regulations of use. There is still theft and misuse in the government. Look at the use of cars, fuels and maintenance. But pay close attention to the money in development projects. There is a lot of fraud.
Kikubwa ambacho wananchi wanatakiwa kutarajia kutoka kwetu ni kwamba kikubwa ni kuboresha huduma za afya.
The main thing that Tanzanians can expect from us is the improvement of health services. As stated by the President, she wants to see improvement in the health sector, but also managing income and expenditure and making sure all the unfinished projects are done in time as expected. That is why we are going to do so as TAMISEMI.
Namshukuru Rais Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan kwa kuniona na kuona kwamba naweza kusaidia na katika nafasi hii.
I am thankful for the President Samia Suluhu Hassan for seeing me and believe that I can help at my position. I am thankful. I am one among the few disabled to have got this position, and today 2 of us were sworn in the office of Chief Secretary, and in his office out of 7, 2 of us are disabled. That is one huge step to change. I thank the 6th-phase government for remembering us.
Industrial investors, hotel owners and big entrepreneurs in Arusha region have expressed hope and pledged support to the government following President Samia Suluhu Hassan's directive to government executives to use a more friendly approach in collecting taxes.
Kauli hii tumepokea kwa furaha kubwa sana. Imetuletea msukumo mzuri.
We have received this statement with great pleasure, and it has given us a good motivation and has blessed us that we will continue doing business without being harassed. There was a lot of tax returns.
Kwa jinsi tunavyoona hali inavyoelekea ni kwamba kuna mengi mema yanakuja.
When we look at how things are, we are convinced that it is the end of the tunnel, and that will only happen if private sector and government will work together.
Upande wa serikali.
Kwa sisi ambao ni wafanyabiashara tulikuwa tuna.
For us business people owning Bureau de Change, we believe that what has been said by the President, if put into consideration, we might get back the business license together with the money, and at least we can go back to business for the development of our country.
President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, has assured citizens that the government has taken action to recover millions of shillings lost through Masterlife Institution, which defrauded people more than 38 billion shillings.
Alianza kazi zake tokea mwezi Juni mwaka.
They started this work since June 2020, and because they were registered as a small-scale business company, including livestock keeping and selling products, it was not easy to know their objective. While they kept on doing their business, it was when it was known that it is not the business they were supposed to be doing. They were taking people's money and promised to give them twice the money they had in a short period of time. 38.5 billion is a lot of money, but people expected to gain twice. In our investigation, we have discovered they have 4.7 billion shillings. We continue to investigate and seize their belongings, and we shall see how to return the money to those who have been lied to.
Members of Parliament of Tanzania have questioned the government on steps and permanent strategies taken to fight against birds and destructive pests that have been attacking crops in various parts of the country, causing economic effects to farmers and nation as a whole.
Kwa kuwa tathmini inaonyesha zaidi ya tani 200 za mazao aina ya alizeti zimeteketezwa na ndege hawa. Je, Mheshimiwa Waziri na serikali wako tayari kupeleka mitego hii haraka kwenye kata za Mwaru?
Serikali ina mpango gani wa kuongeza ndege za kunyunyiza kwa ajili ya udhibiti wa ndege na nzige ili kuweza kuyafikia maeneo mengi kwa wingi na kwa muda mfupi zaidi kuliko ilivyo sasa?
Kwanza tuliochukua pamoja na kutumia ndege na helikopta
Even after using the helicopters that we get from international institutions that we are member states, but as the government, we are in talks with the World Bank and other banks so that we can have enough planes to get rid of destructive pests. I want to assure you, in the next budget, in this parliament, we will have enough money and get instruments to deal with this problem.
More than 40,000 residents from 5 villages in Nkome Ward, Geita District Council in Geita region have completed 21 days of mourning the death of former fifth phase President Dr. John Magufuli by planting 5,000 trees to commemorate his contribution to management of forest resources.
Sasa leo katika tukio hilo tulikuwa tukilifanya la kupanda miti.
Today we are planting trees. It is just a part of commemorating the late president. But we have a huge program of planting trees in all primary and secondary schools in our ward. Almost 7,000 trees were given to us in Nkome Ward to plant in many areas in Geita region, and all this is to commemorate the late Dr. John Magufuli. Our country will turn into a desert. This area had a lot of trees, but there are no more. As the population increases, we lose our natural resources. But he also told us a third of this country is a reserve, including trees, animals, and all other organisms. We plant trees to commemorate him. We take his words and put them into actions.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Ambassador Liberata Mulamula, during an interview in Dakika 45 broadcast on ITV, has said that COVID-19 vaccines are important for the protection of citizens, but in-depth research needs to be done by local health experts on the safety of the vaccine instead of mixing politics with health and safety of Tanzanians.
Tuanzie kuona kwamba umuhimu wa chanjo. Tukishaona umuhimu wa chanjo, tuangalie chanjo gani.
Let's first see the importance of vaccine. After seeing that, let us ask which vaccine and how are we involved. That is the government stand, and we should not just receive everything. As you know, Africa is like a dumping hole. I think our late president was careful enough. If we have doubt with the Western vaccine, let's unite as an African Union so we can have a single vaccine. Remember South Africa, they had their own, though it did not last. Our experts and doctors should help us. We should not put politics into this.
The Deputy Minister of Labour, Youth and Employment, Patrobas Katambi, has expressed dissatisfaction on construction of a modern abattoir being built in Ndombezi area, Shinyanga, saying the construction work is substandard in comparison to the amount of funds spent. He has directed the leadership of Shinyanga region to take action and form a special investigative commission to inspect purchase of the equipment used on the project.
Kweli kuna vitu sikubaliani navyo, vinahitaji uchunguzi ili tutoe shaka.
There are things I do not agree with. They need to be investigated. We are delaying the works, the employment, together with the government revenues and the implementation of the CCM manifesto. It brings doubt comparing the money being sent and what has been done. It is wise for the regional commissioner and the district commissioner to form a committee to deal with this. For such a huge project, we expected employment, but now that we are told it is below standards, it is such a disappointment. The contractor already left, but if possible, they should bring him back so he can revisit the site. As a mayor, I have already explained the steps we have taken. We are working together with the director. The citizens of Shinyanga should know that we are working on this project and it will benefit them. But it is also too early to tell them when due to the said reasons.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. In international news, Residents in Butembo, Beni, and Lubero in Democratic Republic of Congo have continued with protests calling for the removal of the United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission in the DRC MONUSCO, whom they accuse of failing to stop killings in Beni. 3 days for mourning is necessary so that we could reflect on how our fellows were killed and slashed by machetes.
Mimi kama mkaaji wa sekta ya Beni Mbau, precisement Mbau.
As a resident, I believe those who have been busy killing us day and night could be ADF rebels. President Joe Biden is set to announce that he will shave about 2 weeks off his May 1st deadline for states to make all adults eligible for coronavirus vaccines. A White House official confirmed Biden plans to announce that every adult in the United States will be eligible to be vaccinated by April 19th. President Biden initially set a goal of delivering 100 million jabs into people's arms within his first 100 days in office. The goal has since been doubled to 200 million shots by his 100th day, which is April 29th. Moving on, the Widows and Orphans organization in Burundi have expressed dissatisfaction on handling of the cause of death of former President Cyprien Ntaryamira, who died in a plane accident together with his counterpart, former President of Rwanda, Juvenal Habyarimana, in 1994. It is sad that it is almost 26 years now. Widows and orphans are still suffering in the country. We are calling on neighboring countries to contribute in holding thorough investigations towards the death of our ministers and the previous president. Again, we congratulate the government for annual commemoration of our leaders that fought for democracy of this country. And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news tonight. The Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, has assured that his ministry will restore good relation to the business community in order to improve the business climate and speed up economic growth.
Tunapomaliza hilo tunaenda kutekeleza pia haya ambayo Mheshimiwa Rais ameyasisitiza.
We are going to implement all things that were highlighted by Honorable President so that we can build new image to the business community and our taxpayers, while we come up with new sources of revenues so that the burden of tax is not loaded to a small group of people. CRDB Bank has been commended for placing agents in many parts of Pemba in order to extend financial services to citizens of the island. More favorable systems are needed, but mostly the ones that caters for the people directly. Since CRDB has a branch in Chake Chake, this means the room of providing our services is bigger. So far, we have almost 33 agents in Pemba Island. The Minister of State, Vice President's Office for Union and Environment, Sleman Jaffo, has warned industrial owners and scrap metal processors not to engage in buying of pieces of infrastructure from strategic projects such as rail and road projects.
Kwa hiyo ninasema kibali nitachoanza kukisaini mimi, kibali hicho kitakuwa cha miaka mingapi? Mitatu.
I will sign permits that last for 3 years, and every year you shall pay permit fees.
Alivyosema mheshimiwa ni kweli.
We have requested for the permit almost 6 months, and the approval was issued just a few days ago, while the permit is yet to be granted. And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next after the break. We'll be right back.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose some length.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Bwana Samatta was Fenerbahce's hero in last night's 1-0 defeat of Denizlispor in a Super League encounter. Here's more on the story.
Prior to this encounter, the Aston Villa loanee had gone on a run of 11 games for the Yellow Canaries without finding the net. His last goal came in his side's 3-0 defeat of Kayserispor on January 25, 2021. However, the resurgent striker returned to scoring ways against the Roosters. Having failed to win any of their last 3 games, Denizlispor travelled to the Skru Sakagolu Stadium with the ambition of ending their poor run, but they returned home empty-handed despite a brave shift. After a cagey opening minute, the visitors had the first real chance of the game in the 18th minute. However, it was Hungary international Attila Zalai who made a crucial tackle that pushed a promising attack for a corner kick.
Simba FC midfielder Hassan Dilunga has explained how he almost ended up signing for their rivals Yanga SC at the start of the season.
According to Dilunga, the Jangwani Giants came for his services immediately after his 2-year contract at Simba had run down, but he decided to turn them down and extend his stay with the team which had signed him from Tibwa Sugar 3 seasons ago. The attacking midfielder has confessed he even sat down with the Jangwani leaders in one quiet area, discussing how they wanted to sign him up and give him a 2-year contract, but he eventually changed his mind and remained at the Msimbazi Giants. Dilunga further said it was the second time Yanga missed out on his services, since when Simba initially showed their interest in him while he was at Mtibwa Sugar, they also talked to him, but again they failed to move fast enough.
Rafa Benitez is making a return to Premier League management his top priority, with the former Liverpool, Chelsea and Newcastle both eager to land another prominent role in English football.
The 60-year-old Spaniard finds himself without a club at present, with a position at Chinese side Dalian Professional vacated in January as the coronavirus pandemic caused professional and personal concerns for sporting figures around the world. Benitez is eager to get back into the dugout as soon as possible, having spent over 25 years as a coach, and admits that his preference will be to receive offers from familiar surroundings. Benitez says he has already received more than one offer in the last few months, but it wasn't the right time or project.
North Korea's sports ministry said on Tuesday that it will not participate in the Tokyo Olympics this year to protect its athletes amid the coronavirus pandemic. Here's more on the story.
The decision was made at a meeting of North Korea's Olympic Committee, including its sports minister Kim Il-guk, on 25th of March, the ministry said on its website called Just on Sports. The committee decided not to join the 32nd Olympic Games to protect athletes from the global health crisis caused by the coronavirus, it said. The meeting also discussed ways to develop professional sports technologies, earn medals at international competitions, and promote public sports activities over the next 5 years, the ministry said. North Korea has one of the world's strictest quarantine regimes, despite the government's denial that any cases have been detected in the country.
And Barcelona star Felipe Coutinho is set to miss the rest of the 2020-2021 season after undergoing surgery on his knee injury for the second time.
Coutinho was a regular under Ronald Koeman in the first half of the campaign, but hasn't played since December due to a serious meniscus problems, which was operated on the following month. There was hope that the Brazilian will be back on the pitch in time to boost Barca's bid for a domestic double, but the club have now confirmed that the playmaker has had to go back under the knife. Coutinho has already been forced to sit out 33 games across all competitions, and it is unlikely that Koeman will be able to call upon him again as Barca head into the business end of the season.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.